We had a guy yesterday who slammed on his brakes right in the middle of the road, locked him up, told us that from where he was at, he could kill every last one of us.
Is liberty dying where you live? Escape to Keene at freekeene.com.
Good afternoon. It is Thursday afternoon here outside of the Military Recruiting Center in Keene, New Hampshire. We're with Chris Rietmann, who has been out here pretty much the whole week. One of the folks with Oath Keepers. Chris, what briefly for people who might be seeing this for the first time, what is an Oath Keeper?
Oath Keepers are a nationwide organization made up of current and former serving military, law enforcement, whose goal is to educate others that are in military and law enforcement that their oath that they took was to the Constitution, not to any political party or particular politician. They have to respect the oath that is to a Constitution.
So what does that mean, to respect the oath?
Well, you can use some examples. So if an officer was instructed to go take all of Ian's guns away from him for no reason, that would be a violation of the Second Amendment. That police officer or military should refuse that order.
Given that he swore an oath to uphold the Constitution.
Uphold the Constitution.
So, when did you start out here outside of this military recruiting center?
We were here about 8:45 on Monday morning. So we've been going for, I guess this is the fourth day we've been out here.
What was your motivation? Why'd you come out here?
Well, I really wanted to point out the hypocrisy and the insanity of gun-free zones. That's the message.
So the military doesn't allow their own people in this building, or anyone in this building, to carry a firearm?
That's correct.
Could you walk in there with a gun?
No.
Wow. Can you be on the property, or do you have to be out here on the sidewalk?
No, we've agreed to be on the sidewalk. During the whole week, we've been all around the property. We haven't had a real problem with that. The recruiters have complained a little bit that they're getting a lot of complaints, a lot of phone calls about, particularly from bank customers. There's a bank right next door to us, seeing armed guys running around the back of the building and stuff like that.
Today you're not open carrying anything. You had what looked like rifles of some sort. What was being carried out here earlier this week?
Earlier, most people had semi-automatic rifles and most people had sidearms. So that's kind of where we were at before. Because of legislation that's got fast-tracked now, it's a Semper Fi Act, which is designed to repeal those Department of Defense rules and other restrictions that keep these guys from being able to carry inside the building. With that, in a sense, we've really accomplished our goal in that when we started this, there was no legislation on the table. After 21 odd shootings on U.S. soil, they had never proposed this before. And apparently now, since we've had activists across the country get out there and stand guard, somebody's finally agreed to put some legislation forward.
How many, obviously you don't want to necessarily give away too many details about your operational security, but
Sure.
How many people have been out here assisting with your duties?
Grand total, there's probably been 15 people that have rotated in and out.
Is everyone who's been here an Oath Keeper?
No, absolutely not. There's other groups, other patriot groups, there's individual citizens. There are a lot of veterans that have no affiliation really with anybody other than they felt that they wanted to take part in what we're doing.
So you've changed your operational security, and it's pretty obvious to anybody driving by. There's no more long rifles out here. You're not open carrying. Why? What happened?
Well, I think what we've seen is, number one, we've been working very closely with law enforcement and with the recruiters, trying to impact other people's lives as little as possible, and also the surrounding businesses. The bank next door, I mean, they've had customers that have been a little nervous about what's been going on. And the fact that now legislation is getting fast-tracked, I mean, if that was our goal, then we've kind of achieved it, and we can maybe take a little bit lower.
Was that the actual goal, to get legislation, or was it to raise awareness?
I think raise awareness, and our goal, I think, when we started was until they are able to carry on their own.
Because I didn't know. I had no idea that a military person at a recruiting center couldn't carry a
or
a gun.
any military base.
Yeah.
There are no guns. It's one of the largest gun-free zones you can imagine.
Tell me about the reaction. I mean, you're out here. We're on one of the busiest streets in Keene. This is West Street. and I mean, you get people driving by all day. What's it been like?
98% positive. If anybody lets their opinion be known, 98% has been positive. 2% maybe. I mean, it's...
Give me an example of the 2%.
We had a guy yesterday who slammed on his brakes right in the middle of the road, locked him up, told us that from where he was at, he could kill every last one of us, and accused us of all being from out of town. Nobody's even a local. None of you pay taxes.
Ridiculous.
It was crazy. And then we had a bunch of people.
You live in Alstead.
I live in Alstead,
right
which is a
nearby.
couple towns up.
Yeah.
But then we had a bunch of people yelling at him from Dunkin' Donuts and D'Angelo and the business across the street. It was pretty interesting.
And how's the relationship been with the folks inside here? I mean, there's a couple businesses, I guess, and
there are a couple businesses that are upstairs behind the gun-free zone sign, and then we also have cleaning people that work in there too. The cleaning people have been extremely supportive of what we're doing. They've been happy. I don't know if I've met anyone who works upstairs in the offices there. We probably have. Our relationship with the recruiters has been good. We're civil. We're behaving peacefully. It's nothing's gone wrong.
Excellent. So anything else you feel like I should have asked about that I didn't?
No, I think the biggest thing I would say is that in a very liberal town, when you have 98% of people that voice positively to you, when they voice any opinion at all, taking Facebook and online out of the equation completely, I think it's pretty amazing. And I think that it's not just conservatives and things like that. I think people are finally understanding that we sort of changed the conversation from being about supporting the troops to being about why do we have gun-free zones. And that was a real good benefit of all this.
Awesome. Very cool. Thanks for taking the time to talk. And I guess another question about carrying. You are carrying right now.
Absolutely.
But just concealed carry.
Concealed carry.
So you have at least one gun on you.
At least one that you know of.
All right, very good. Thank you, Chris.
No problem.
We'd like to invite you to visit freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.
I should be in Keene, New Hampshire with the Free Staters.